in that first quarter, if there's anything that you saw or game plan or anything that went into that.
I just knew I think he knew we were playing against a switching team, a junk defensive type of team, and um, it's probably not going to be as much ball movement against a switch everything type of defense as we saw in the last couple of games where we had 36, 37 assists. And I thought he was ultra aggressive trying to score the ball, and particularly shooting the ball over the top in the first half, and obviously set a tone for us.
And then for just anything about the contrast that, the last few games going against LaMelo and Anthony Edwards and Wiseman, some of these up-and-coming young guys, and here's LeBron at this age, right, looking this energetic. It's something you've talked about many times, but I wondered if you could summarize what you saw in that tonight, these last couple.
No, he just says he's got great energy. You know what I mean? He's playing every night, setting a great tone. I think for young players and for the whole league. That if he feels good, he's going to be in there and he's going to compete at a super high level and dominate the game. He's the MVP of the league, in my opinion, thus far, because of that mindset and what he's doing for our team, and he just wins the game in so many different ways. We're number one defense in the league without Anthony Davis for most of this season, largely because of what he does with his play and with his quarterbacking and his voice. And obviously he has the ability to put up triple doubles. He has the ability to go score 30, 40 points. He's really doing it all for us.
And then Frank, third quarter, Charlotte comes all the way back, and you go to a smaller group, a couple guys that you trust. What were you looking for from that group, and how do you think that tilted things?
Yeah, well, they started the half small. We like to give our style of play a chance to counter that first. They went on a run, so we countered that with a small lineup of our own. Trez got in there some against Bismack Biyombo when they took all their bigs out. We had him in there some. We had Keith in there some, and then we ultimately moved Braun to the 5 with 4 guards. And just worked on containment. And obviously Braun was able to lead that group and take us home.
Dave? Dave?
Mute.
My box moved on the screen. Frank, since you went there with the LeBron MVP mention, how do you make any sense, or what do you think of the fact that it's been 8 years since he's won that award?
I just think it's what's the right word? It's a mistake on the voters' part, to go season after season without voting the best player in the league MVP. It's the simplest way to put it. There's been other players that have been deserving, but he's been the best player in the league for as long as I can remember. Maybe since the second year in the league, third year in the league. So, it's just one of those things that is unfortunate. It's not right, and he should get it this year. He's doing it every night, and no one's as deserving.
Bill?
Kind of a flip of the same question, but what do you make of the fact that he could go 8 years without winning the MVP, and the game could change so much, and a whole new era really of basketball generation of players. And here he is, 36, potentially still able to bookend that with potentially another MVP campaign.
Yeah, he's the best player to ever play the game. In my opinion, I stated that. I think many feel that, and he continues to prove it. With his play. It's just that simple. For him to do it this long, through a change like you just mentioned too, stylistically, with the way the game is played now as opposed to even 4 or 5 years ago, to still be this dominant, still be the best player in the league, it's just remarkable. And obviously, he's doing a great job for us. To the Lakers to continue to win games and keep us afloat while a guy like Anthony Davis is out.
Brett?
You guys have won 4 in a row since the All-Star break. How much did the All-Star break help you guys? And is that to what's going on right now, getting that rest, getting your legs back underneath?
Yeah, it was definitely needed. We didn't want to talk about it at the time, but it was clear our guys sort of hit a wall after the short off season. We came out of the gate strong, suffered some injuries, and then that stretch before the break, it was pretty clear that our guys were a little bit fatigued. The shots were short. The minds were a little bit fatigued, but we've come out of the gates. I think Ron set a great tone for us, saying it's go time, post All-Star break. And, our guys have really responded, with, really good play, against some good teams to lead to this 4-game win streak.
Kyle.
Hey Frank, you talked about how you guys are in the middle of a 5-game, 7-night stretch, 8 games in 12 nights. As much as you got a rest during the break, what practices do you have to kind of make sure that your team can retain as much of that as possible in this really tough stretch right out of the break?
Yeah, there's no practice. When you play 8 games in 12 days, there's no practice, and we're not even having to shoot around. So it's all mental. Our coaching staff is doing a good job working with guys individually on their growth, so we don't overdo the team film work because even that can be too taxing mentally. And our guys have had a great mindset to improve each game, even in wins. For instance, we won the Minnesota game, but we gave up a 118 defensive rating, and nobody was happy with that. So we really tightened the screws tonight, except for the third quarter. We had a really strong defensive performance. Offense rating is back at 104, which is close to where we want it. And we'll continue to try to grow in wins.
Michael Duarte.
Yeah, Frank, I can't remember the last time you guys had a 12:30 start game. What's the challenge after playing so long, in the evening to then switch to an early day game like that and then have to go back to the next night against Phoenix in a very tough game at 70?
Yeah, it's essentially like a back-to-back. Playing a night game tonight. Some cleanups tomorrow, and try to prepare for the Atlanta game. If we try to have a sort of a team meeting or walkthrough here at Staples on Saturday, it has to be like 9 in the morning. So we'll try to do our prep work tomorrow, and our guys just got to battle through it. There's going to be some mental fatigue there for sure. But that's just part of this condensed schedule that the whole league is dealing with. No one's feeling sorry for us. We're not feeling sorry for ourselves. We're committed to go out and getting a win on Saturday.
Rashawn.
Hey, Coach, there was a sequence there in the fourth quarter. LeBron got a block at the rim. Boss reversed around. He gets in Rozier's grill. You guys end up getting a stop. You call the timeout. Seemed like he was pretty fired up there. What did you see from him specifically during that sequence and how that kind of charged the team?
Same thing we see every night from LeBron James. He dominates the game, in every way that's needed. And during that stretch you just alluded to, it was with his defensive performance, both at the rim and closing out to Terry Rozier. Not even guarding Terry Rozier, but it reminded me of when he guarded Jamal Murray in the playoffs last year, telling the whole team, "Stay home, I got him." And no one else has to help. And he just mans up and gets the stop necessary for us to secure the win. So that was a great sequence by him.
Last 3. Claudia.
Fran, it looks like the team plays with more rhythm with Caruso in the game. How big of a difference is having him on the floor?
Yeah, he always moves the needle for us. He always seems to end up in the positive, in the plus minus. When he had a tough shooting, he was 1 for 7. So when you go 1 for 7, you're not making shots, but your team is a plus 10. You're doing all the little things to help us win, and that's what Alex Caruso is all about.
Thank you.
Maximilian.
Thank you. Hey, Coach. Sunday marks 100 days since Dennis Schroeder first wore a Lakers jersey. How would you rate those first 100 days?
I think it's going great. We hope he's happy here. Our guys really like him. Our coaching staff's really enjoying coaching him. He's got a great energy about him, a great spirit, and a great competitive fire that he brings to our team. On both sides of the ball, his ability to attack the paint, and what he does for us defensively. He's off to a great start as a Laker.
Last question, Nicholas.
Hi. About Dennis Schroeder, how much is he important for you when AD is out?
Well, we saw what we did when AD was out and Dennis was out. We struggled when the two of them were out. So Obviously it's tough to make up for the absence of Anthony Davis, but when you have a guy like Dennis Schroeder that can really compete on both sides of the ball, he's been vital since he's come back. I'm not sure what our record is exactly, but since he came back from the health and safety protocols, I think our record's pretty good, and he's been an important piece of that.